What I'm doing here is not about how to open a business. What I'm doing here is how to open your successful business. There's a difference. My name is Doyin. I'm a psychiatric practitioner. I am in New Jersey. I provide resources. I will provide it for free to assist anyone. And this information are also on multiple platforms on how to open your business. People open businesses, and some people do not excel by opening their business. I have been in practice for a year, and for some people that might not be enough experience, but trust me, you could be an inpatient or outpatient, and not have enough experience. There's a way when it comes to seeing patients that will be beneficial to you as a provider, and will also be beneficial to the patient. And it would also be beneficial to your pocket, right? Because this is a business you're running. So you don't just want to open a business, and, you have to learn the art of how to see your patients. So that way it will be beneficial to you and also to the patient. When we see patients outpatient, sometimes providers or even some practices, we would see patients maybe every 1 month or every 2 months. And, when you run your practice, it's a different vibe. You have to do things very differently because this is your baby, right? This is your bread and butter, and you want to make sure you provide the best service and best care to the patient. So if you're in the hospital, for example, you will learn. The more you talk to patients, you will learn a lot from them. The more you see patients closely, you will learn a whole lot from them. So experience is really based on how your interaction is, how frequent your interaction is with the patient. Patients will teach you a whole lot of things when it comes to how, what are the side effects of the medication, even though these things, right? We have resources that are out there that will help us in this journey. But even despite all that, there's nothing like real life experience. So when, it's not just about experience, you also want to be innovative, right? So there are multiple information out there. Like I said, you can obtain information, just recapping for some, you can obtain information on how to open your business. And I would tell anybody, if you want to just open your business, please join any platform. You will learn how to open your business. But trust me, there are people that have opened businesses for 1 year, 2 years, and they have very limited amount of patience. There is a reason why. And through my journey, right, because I see, this is what I do. I open my business, and, it's not because I didn't want to work for someone else. I just knew what I wanted for myself. And nursing taught me a lot about what I don't want. It also taught me a lot of things about what I want. There was a video that I was watching, and I do read. I'm also an audio listener. I also send videos to you guys. This journey of Rethink life, right? For me, I do believe in God. I am spiritual, but I'm not all about this religion situation. I believe in God. I'm Christian, but at the same time, I understand not to bring some things, the fanatics, into. I don't want to go crazy. That makes sense with the religion. That makes sense. So it's all about the spirit guide for me. But pretty much when it comes to opening my business, right? Rethink life. Rethink life, the way it came about, it was about how to. That came about actually when I was still in school. It wasn't like I came up with that. No, I didn't come up with that name. I didn't come up with Unlearn to Relearn. The Rethink Life, it's Unlearn to Relearn. It's about changing our mindset, right? From not just, workers to a business owner. It's about when you go from a worker, and you you tap into your creativity, you tap into your creative abilities. When you tap into the reason for your existence, which is to be not faithful. I actually was on a panel. I was introduced. I was actually asked to speak on a financial and success and mental health panel. That was July 6th, and that is also on YouTube, which I will post. It's on my Rethink Life show. And one of the panelists said, You know, it's your existence for life is not about being faithful. It's about being fruitful. And that is absolutely true. If you really, you know, depending on what you believe in, but it depends, and I'm not trying to, you know, preach to you guys about Christianity, but the point is that when you, whatever you read, and even if you are, you know, believe or don't believe in anything, either way, right? You are a creative being. Think about it. There's so much things you can do. You have the capability to make anything happen, right? All the species don't. We do. That is the reasons for our existence. We're supposed to be fruitful and multiply. Sometimes we're thinking of fruitfulness in the name of, you know, children and everything. No, it's everything. It encompasses your creativity, your natural talent. Be fruitful, not necessarily faithful, but fruitful. So it has to do with you. It has to do with you. There was something I watched recently that, for example, what's the name? Oprah was talking about what is the difference between a successful person and an unsuccessful person, right? Success is dependent on you. It looks different for everyone. My version of success and your version of success is very different. Your version of what is considered wealthy or rich is different from my own version of that, right? So this is why when I coach people, right, like I said, I will provide you the resources, just like I will tell you join any platform, but I am not here to teach you how to open any business. I'm here to teach you how to open your successful business, how to maintain your successful business, how to expand your successful business. What I'm doing here, it's bigger. It's not about, oh, let me open, you know, one small, you know, office, and I'm, that's not, I'm not working on limited vision. I want you to expand your horizon. I want you to think a little bigger than what you're even imagine. I coached someone today. I've been coaching, like I said, since I began. I know myself, and I want, you know, and I'm sure you all know yourself, but when it comes to discovering yourself, discovering, you know, your niche, sometimes we think, right, there's some things we don't know about ourselves. Sometimes we think we know ourselves. Sometimes we think we know what we want. But there's a, when I do an assessment. I did an assessment with a young lady today, and the assessment takes about 2 to 3 hours. We were in visit from 1:30. Okay, today's my day off. From 1:30, I started with her, and we did not finish until 6:30, because that is the amount of time that I spend. I showed her in the beginning, I showed her what it looks like, where I am right now, what I hope, what my vision is, and right, and then if that is familiar with what she wants. So that was where we began. We started from that area. Then after that, I did an assessment, which I do in my practice as well, right? And I told her to answer a couple of questions, and those questions are very simple, right? And I will do another video that taps into that. Now, after I did an assessment, she was like, oh, maybe thinking it's just going to be like a regular questionnaire, you know. So what I did was, and then I went into each question that she had, and I had to do some analysis. I went deeper. And by the time we were done, right, this is what I do for everybody. By the time we were done, I told her, I said, hey, you know, I've done this. We did this. By doing the assessment, it's called finding your niche. By doing that assessment with her, literally, we got number one. She knew what exactly her business plan was. Your business plan has to do with you. I know the way we were taught. There's so many things that, you know, I've done the business plan on websites and everything. And, you know, they come up with this whole big thing about how the business plan is. You have a couple of pages of how the business plan is. But the business plan that I came and I gave her a summary, but the business plan, it's literally a couple just specific words. It ties into your core values. It ties into, you know, your life vision, with a kind of life you want to live. Like I said, I'm here to help people, you know, solidify your foundation. You don't, you know, trust me, and I'm not trying to sell anything to anyone. I'm not here to force you, right, to be here. Because trust me, when you start, right, you'll be like, wow, this is a lot of work. So it's, you know, for me, if someone wants one-to-one coaching, that's a different vibe. But if you want me to you want to ask me questions, feel free. Ask me questions. You can even ask me, hey, tell me, how do I discover my purpose? I'll go ahead and answer that question for you, right? I will go ahead and do that. But the question is, when you want me to go ahead and sit down and analyze what that looks like for you, that's a different ball game. I am offering group. I am often offering one-to-one, but for now we're doing mostly group. And it's, when you open your business, you would realize, right? The cost of what I'm doing, my charge right now for group, right, even for individual, is $500 per month, depending on where you start. You may not need it for 1 month. You may not need it for 3 months. The maximum is 3 months. You may not need it. When I began my own, it took me about 2.5 months as a new grad. That is from let's say from you starting to open your business. What does it look like? I want to open my business, right? Or better yet, I just graduated. Boom. What do I do? How do I go about it? So from initiation to pretty much when it's time for you to go ahead and go out there and start your business. And I will be here to guide and coach you, because this is the part 1. Part 2 will come later when it comes to expansion. Now, there are people that get multiple states license, and they get a lot of patients. But it's almost like the story between the tortoise and the hare. The hare, right? Hare, in case I'm saying it. Let's just say dog, okay? Let's say dog this time around. It's like a story of a tortoise and the dog. The dog was running real fast and was really going real fast. The tortoise was doing his own little thing, little by little, was just going, but little by little, right? And the thing is that the dog kept on going really fast, but it got to the point it got really tired, right? Had to take a break. I'm probably saying the story not the best, but this is a story that I learned something like that when I was younger. But I'm trying to just bring it to the light so you guys can understand better. So the tortoise, right, was, just, kind of rolling with the bulls, kind of going little by little. The dog got really tired, had to take a break, had to catch his breath, couldn't really continue the race. But, and some other things happened in the story. But the point is that dog was too tired, and as a result, the tortoise caught up, right? So what I'm trying to say is that, and eventually the tortoise did pass, right? Did pass the dog. And at the end of the day, the tortoise did win the race. Even as slow as the tortoise was, the tortoise won the race. This is what I'm saying to you. Number one, we don't want to compare. This is going to be your journey. Whether you're a tortoise, whether you're a dog, it's not necessarily meaning that you are not good at what, because you're going really fast, you have multiple state licenses, does not mean that it's a bad thing. But the funny thing is that one thing I want you to understand, you have multiple patients, you rush so quickly. If your foundation is not solid, you know what happens when the foundation is not solid? Trust me, eventually you're going to have to stop. You're going to have to take a break. You can't take patience. You're going to have to stop. And then while you're stopping, the person that was slow and steady, solidifying their foundation, guess what? They're going to move past you. And that's the thing. One state is enough. One state alone, even that is enough. And I'm not saying you must have one state, but what I'm saying to you is you want to build right. Build your foundation right. That is extremely important. You want your foundation to be solid. There are a lot. I made a video and I post a lot of resources on here. If you guys, whoever wants to open a business, and when I coach, I do guide you. I will give you some more input. But if you have any questions, as you can see, I will post anything on here. Any question you have, I will answer to my best of my ability. But understand, you can find this information possibly anywhere else too. There are some people that I am all about sharing information. And at the same time, wherever I do coach, I do ask you, hey, what is something that you think can also help this group that we're in? So it's not about just coming, some people are here and they want to just, obtain information. They probably have different things they do. And that's okay. That's fine. But one thing I know about life, you close fist, you don't receive. So all this information that I share on here, it's not like I have to share it. I choose to share it because, number one, right, knowing this information, I could decide and say, you know what, I know why this is happening. How come someone could be in the same states, or even same city. One person is excelling, the other one is not. I know this, and I could say, you know what, not my business. Sure, let them deal with it. I'm doing well. I'm doing fine. I could do that, but I'm not a kind of a person. I don't believe in, closed fist. I'm very open-minded, and I like to share things to people. Whether, if you want it, go ahead. But like I said, it has come for me. It has just come to the point. Like I said, it's the cost of what I provide. Trust me, I know people that I've reached out to. I know someone that, some people charge 5,000, some people charge 3,000, they charge 1,000, but I'm only charging 500 at this time. One thing about Rethink Life and, what it stands for is that when you discover yourself, when you discover what you really want and the life you want to live, when you discover, your strengths, when you discover, what made you happy with the jobs you did, what made you not, when you put everything together, right? Like I said, when I did the assessment with the lady, we got a business plan. She knew her vision, she knew her mission, and she also discovered one thing about herself when it comes to her purpose. And there will be many more. So that was just the first start. That is the first thing. And I get, that's why when people ask me questions, I'm not answering questions. I will give a general answer because I don't know the kind of life you want to live. So I cannot go ahead and say, oh, yeah, sure. You should go ahead and, do it this way. I will give you the information. You ask me, hey, what credentialing or how should I, what website should I use or what can make my website? I'll give you that information. But if you want me to tailor things to you about how, and how this is going to be the baseline and then you can move forward, that is a one-to-one, or that is a group coaching that I would do. And even with the group coaching, it is still tailored to each individual, which means I will check in with you. I will make sure, like I said, I was only supposed to spend 2 hours with this lady, or 1 hour and 30 minutes. Normally it's supposed to be an hour, but she really was, we were talking and we spent about 5 hours. So I am very, like I said, I want people to excel in life. That's my own thing. You might find, and I tell people that know me, I want you to excel even more than I will excel. This is not a race. This is not a competition. Your success, let it come to light, okay? And my success, so be, it will come to its light in its own way. Everybody has their own race, and everybody is running their own race. That's why the first video I made is about no competition. Psychiatry is very simple. I'm so glad that I joined. Like, for example, I joined Dr. K's group. I also had a couple of, psych nurse practitioners in the beginning, right? That I would just say, hey, let me ask you a few questions. While I was working, because it's so funny, right? I have case management experience. I come from insurance. I don't come from psychiatry. I come from insurance. I worked in community care. That was what I did. I also worked partly in contract work in a behavioral, as a behavioral nurse in the beginning. But I actually, I'm not gonna lie, I was, very good in school, even as a nurse, and even with my bio degree. My background is biology with a concentration in behavior, and is in animal behavior and physiology. That was what I studied. I was on the path to want to, go to medical school. That was what I thought growing up, right? I was like, oh, that I knew I did pretty well in school. UMDNJ also wanted me at the school. I did pass my exam at one point. But then, UMDNJ was like, oh, no, we want you to bring it up a little bit. And I'm like, oh, I don't know about all that. So I tried the exam and I didn't do so well. But and the exam, the MCAT was changing. So I was like, you know what? This is 3 years now. I'm like, I need to, just somehow make some form of income. I'm like, nursing wasn't about making money for me. I just wanted to pay my bills, right? I was young. So like I said, and I did nursing. I'm like, if nursing wasn't my plan A, plan B, or plan C, I wanted to do cardiovascular perfusion because I enjoy the heart. I know my capabilities, right? But it got to the point, I'm like, you know what, should I go into, I'm like, I sat down, it got to the point and I'm like, what do I really want? Like, what is it that what is something that I've always heard, and I've said it before, I've always heard people say there is something you can do that would not feel like work. And I'm like, I want to tap into that, right? Because at the point, I felt like nursing was, oh, just like Jesus Christ. Like, you know, I wasn't like, even in the insurance, I love the admin part. Like I did DON and everything, but I love the administration portion. But I was just like, at one point I was like, should I be a nurse consultant? Because I knew that I was naturally good at solving issues, even with my job at the time, right? I got awards and everything like that, and I'm so grateful. My bosses were the one pushing me, and they were like, Doyin, don't forget us when you become a CNO. So like that was me, and I was just like, people always say these things about me. Why don't I just like, I want to live it out too? But it was very, very, I'm not gonna lie to you, it was very, you know, while I was in school, you know, before I got to school, I did the whole questionnaire that I like I said, discovering your niche. I did, and somebody actually, I have another an NP that said, you know, I'm gonna you know, post his video. Not yet, we haven't done it, but he was like, listen, I would like to know how to discover my niche. I volunteer myself, and I do that for multiple people. I do it for my patients, and I said, sure. So you guys will see in real time coming forward, you know, looking, you know, soon you will see in real time what that looks like, how I do that. You know, people sometimes can go ahead and, you know, steal the idea. I get it. But what I do, right, I get all that. But what I'm doing is not, because the thing is that there's a certain way that I do it, right? And they can try to do it my way. There's nothing wrong with it, but doesn't mean they will give you the same results or they will do it exactly the way I do it. So I'm not fearful. I'm not fearful about people stealing ideas. I do see people, like I said, it doesn't matter. You know, if you have any question, you want me to do it, let me know. But like normally I offer that in my coaching course. But if you just have, you want to say, you know what, can I have those questions? I just want to write it down. You can do that, right? And I'll send it to you. But it doesn't mean you know how to analyze the way I'm doing it. So that's the difference. There's a lot of things, right? Business, what did he teach me? I'm just going to go a little bit about that. In the 1 year that I've been practicing, in the 1 year that I've been seeing patients, I'm really super grateful. I see my patients very closely. Whatever it is that you want to excel in, I want you to excel in that. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. I want the best for everybody. You know, when we first began, I didn't see anyone. And when I didn't see anyone put a video up on how to open your business. Nope. I couldn't find anything on YouTube. I couldn't find. So how did I know how to open this business? Funny enough, and depending on what your really, you know, your spirituality is, but life unfolds itself. And this is what I truly believe in. Life unfolds, right? If you believe in God, it talks about how he already, whatever you're supposed to be, whatever your future is, whatever you are, is already done, right? So literally, that is what it is. Life unfolds itself to you. And that's one of the reasons why I'm like, it's not because I could talk about multiple things, but what I'm doing is literally self-actualization. I want you to discover you. And you know, as a psychiatrist, right, when we discover who we are, then we get all of hierarchy. We get all of that, all of the Maslow hierarchy. We get all of that. So that is what I'm doing. That is what I'm doing. And because I know some things about myself, you know, and that's what I say in my videos, that that the things you are, you're already doing it. And as if you read different things, I've watched different videos, I've listened to different speakers, and a lot of things, all the things that I wrote down, not knowing, unknowingly, literally, that is how to discover your niche. So I hope that, you know, we will excel in whatever we choose. Like I said, you can try it yourself, but you will see as you start yourself, you will realize it's a lot of hard work opening a business. You know, it's a lot of hard work. But I didn't feel like I worked because I enjoyed what I did. And that's what I'm trying to make us also do. I want us to love what we do. I want us to discover that for ourselves, whatever that is for you. So that way, when you do it, you won't even think about retiring. You're just gonna want to just expand and just share the knowledge to others. I think I said 20 psychiatrist sites. What I did there, I'm creating exposure. Number one, I'm creating exposure to the public because of some information that I know. about what I told you about why some people are not getting patients. There's a reason why. In my video, if you are able to listen from with a different kind of ear, you will hear the things that I'm saying. I had that video. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was very angry when I found out the information that I found out, but I had to be. I could not, because I couldn't be super angry on the video because I didn't want to come off a certain way, right? Because we are not just, we have psychiatrists NP, we have psychiatrists MD, and there's some things that I found out, and I was just like, no, this is just not okay. So that was why I made that video, because number one, I'm shedding light to the society. I mean, we never know what that video is going to come to light or when it's going to be helpful for someone. But one day, just like we had COVID, it will be helpful to somebody in the future. So not saying I wish COVID on anybody or we want that. No, 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 no. But I'm just saying life has its stages, right? And things happen in life that, with the financial, with financial stocks and everything like that when it comes to society. But what I'm saying, so I'm trying to shed light. If you are looking for how to get patients, I went through each site and I wrote down what insurances they cover. I wrote down, I said some words like maybe indirectly credentialed, directly credentialed. There is a way I will tell you to go ahead and do that, because if you do one, depending on your vision, one could affect your vision. So there's a way you want to get it done, right? So that's what I teach in the coaching. But like I said, the video, you can go there, look at all the sites. There's therapy sites, and then there is what's it called, the psychiatrist portion. I did that video specifically for us, because by shedding light, number one, those providers are there. A lot of providers, I saw them, MDs, they're there. And some of them, if you want to be working with teenagers, you will get information about teenagers there. If you want to, there's even like another company that there's a couple of other companies that have reached out to me recently that I've not even like posted, and I said I will update in my description of that video. So feel free. I only touched a little bit when I said the reasons why patients are not, why you're not being found, and I'm not the only one that's saying this. There is a disconnect. That's what I said, because I'm not the only one. There's another girl. She's also on YouTube. She's a doctor, and she talks about, we're here, psychiatrists, but there's a reason why you're not being found. Sometimes people will invest. Oh, beautiful thing. They invest in marketing sites. Oh, I wish you guys the best if you're doing that, because I wouldn't tell you to do that if you're just starting out. The way I coach you, no. We don't start with that, because I understand marketing, but mental health marketing is different. It is helpful, but there are other marketing things you can do that will be beneficial to you, not necessarily you paying for example, those companies will take $300 per month from you. You're probably going to get maybe in some cases 0 patients, in some cases 4 patients. Yeah, I get it, but just be careful. Be very careful. Be very careful before you invest. I'm not saying you cannot invest, but before you invest in that, one thing I heard, your number one rule is in business, you don't want to be losing money before you even gain it. Number 2, you don't want to be losing money, period. So there's some things that I did, right, that I'm like, oh man, I had some companies like, I was like, no, not the EHR. I'm not doing this. And literally I had to be like, no, let's go to court if we have to go to court. Okay. You didn't provide me any services. So you will feel threatened by different companies because you're trying to figure it out. But one thing someone told me is that it doesn't matter whether you are a small business, a starting business, or a big, large corporation. A business is a business. So guess what? When you comes to the court of law, you're a business. So be very careful with that. Well, I remember before I was going to make a video, and I said that when you discover your purpose, right, and you are you're working in it, one thing I said was, I say you would not struggle. So sometimes that could be like, what do you mean by that? You think life is all rosy? You think, you got it like that? You know what I'm saying? What you mean, like, you don't struggle? It's not that you don't have struggles. You will have struggles. But when you open your business, because the business, right, you will have struggles, trust me. You will not, when you first start, you're going to be like, oh my God, this, you know, because I had some issues even myself, right? Even with Google marketing, I had an issue with that. And I was still getting patients. I was still getting patient, but I was fearful that would I not get visibility? And I'll explain that in my video that I made. I was very fearful about that. So what I'm trying to say to you is that business will bring about multiple things that would make you be a little fearful. It's not that you will not maybe have some roadblocks, or you will not, you know, you will not maybe, even though your inner guide helps you, you might still want to try to like go back to your old ways of like, let me try this out because somebody told me that's ideal, right? When you are in the business it would really strengthen your mindset. So the point is that chaos could be happening around you. And you just be like, okay, no problem. I hear you chaos and I see you chaos, but you'll be like, oh, you know what? Chaos or not, I'm not bothered. You won't focus on the problem. You will focus on how to provide, how to obtain, and how to get a solution. That is where, and it would so you will have multiple issues, but you not with the way the business trains you. Because if you focus on the problem, you will never see a solution. But when you focus on how to fill up, how to rise above the issue, how to, a redirection. Like I said, when I had that Google situation, I had to turn off my Google. I had to listen. My inner guy said, that was what I felt within my spirit. And it was like, turn it off. When I actually turned off the Google marketing, funny enough, you'd be surprised. I was getting patients and I was getting calls. I was already getting patients, but now I'm like, I don't even need it. So there were other things that I implemented instead. So what I'm trying to say to you is, I was, eating up Fiverr, help me out, this, help me out. Like I was spending money, and when I turned it off, I was fine. I was fine. So I'm just trying to tell you this because some mental health marketing companies will tell you, and the thing is, they will help you. They don't get it wrong, they will. But when I also got the expert. But for some reason, the next month, Google would say, addiction services, and give me this high, and I was asking for help. But the thing is, when I turned it off, it allowed me to be even more visible. I was afraid that I would not be visible. It allowed me to be even more visible than I was before. There are multiple things that you can do to be, to help your, to be more visible as a provider. So these are examples of some things. So you don't want, like I said, it's not like you're not going to struggle. It's just that your mindset is so strong. Your mindset is unwavering. Your mindset is reformed and refined to the point that doesn't matter what issue may arise in your life, you will rise above. This is why your existence has to do with you tapping into your creativity, your creative abilities, your creative capabilities, and bringing that to fruition and making yourself live a fulfilling life. It's not about faithfulness in life, because sometimes we are focused too much on that. The reason why we exist is about your fruitfulness. And what is that? Have you figured out what it is that you're supposed to be fruitful at? Right? So you don't want to be fruitful in the wrong thing. You want to be fruitful in the right thing for you. People that are, twerking up and down, right? They're fruitful in their own way, but comes with a lot of things as well. Thanks for listening. You can subscribe if you want to learn more and on my channel and all that stuff. And yeah, thank you so much for your time. Have a great night, guys. Good night. Bye-bye.